Hey, it's Derek Jones, and welcome to another episode on my channel. It is a fantastic day. It's been nothing but dreary and gloomy and cold for a couple weeks, so I haven't got much done. I got a lot of people that are like, hey, where's my stuff? So today we're going to work on some projects, and I'm going to show you how to make a scrap wood cutting board, and we'll go from there. Stay tuned. And today's video is brought to you by Basecamp masks. They are simply the best woodworking mask I have used. They have an interchangeable filter, are easy to put on, and very comfortable. You can get them in my link below. So I was able to put my hands on a bunch of rough cut oak, and none of it was dimensionally accurate, so pretty much all of it had to be trimmed and cut to size before I could use it. However, this oak is not reclaimed and has never been used before, which makes it an excellent candidate for cutting boards. And here I am just cutting all the wood to 22 inches so that they will be the same length. Okay, so I got enough pieces cut. Now what I'm going to do is true up all the edges so that I can get a good glue, and I'll glue up the board. I did a video on this planer. It's in my channel, and I've been really happy with it for the money. I should point out that I jumped ahead here, and I actually planed the surface instead of the edges on the joiner, just because it makes it easier for me to lay out the boards and make sure that they're dimensionally correct. I've been using this planer for over a year pretty heavily, and honestly, I cannot complain about it. They're available in my links below, as is every tool used in this video, and this is one that I totally recommend. Now, this Craftsman joiner is another tool that I've reviewed and been very happy with. It's a very good joiner. I haven't had any issues with it, and for the money, it's hard to beat. So I ended up truing up these boards on my table saw first, and while you're not going to get a perfect parallel with a joiner, it does a pretty good job of giving you a good surface to glue up. Okay, so now that I've got that done, I'm just going to lay these out, make sure I've got them the way I want. I like to contrast size and colors when I lay out a random cutting board like this. Okay, so I got what I want now, and I'm going to use Starbond number 3 glue. It's waterproof, and I found it works just the best for cutting boards. It just can't even be beat. Now, it's real important to actually make sure you get a good even spread on the glue. And you'll want to use quite a few clamps to really get a good squeeze on this. You could use a clamp on top to make sure it's nice and level, but I got it pretty good, just like it was. Now, no matter how hard I try, when I clamp a board set together, I usually get a few inconsistencies, and I'm sure it has to do with the angle of the joiner and discrepancies in the separate planed pieces. However, it doesn't take very long on this planer to make everything nice and flat. So I just did a couple cycles and made sure that both sides were really flat and really, really clean looking. One of the best tricks I've learned for fixing flaws such as cracks and holes in a cutting board is Starbond super glue. I am sponsored by these guys, but I was using their product long before they sent me some, and I can tell you that I would endorse it even if they hadn't given me a whole bunch. It's fantastic stuff, and it works really well with some accelerator. You just put a little sawdust in the crack, put some super glue in, and then spray it, and you can't even tell after you've sanded it. It really is a great tool for somebody making cutting boards or other wood projects. And it is also available in my links below. And again, 100% support of this product, whether they supported me or not. And now just some quick sanding with some 220 grit, and it makes short work of this excess super glue, leaving a really good looking surface. I left out another step on here, and after I sand with 220, I actually will sprinkle the board with water, let it dry, and then I'll sand it again with 330. And I left that out mainly because I forgot to turn on the camera. And I am really liking how this surface looks. This oak is red and white oak, and besides a few cracks and a few small holes, it turned out to be pretty good wood. And now I'm just using my DeWalt router with a round over bit, and I am just rounding the corners, and it makes the board look really clean. And then we will put it on my routing table with a 1/2-inch ball, and I'm cutting grooves in the board. They call them juice grooves, and they seem to be very popular. And they definitely sell more boards with than without juice grooves. So I recommend that you do these if you're going to try and sell cutting boards. Okay, that's looking pretty good, but I still need to sand the grooves, so I'm going to do that with some 150 followed by 220, and that'll leave a nice finish in the grooves. I haven't found a better way to do this other than just good old-fashioned elbow grease. Now I could be done right here, and typically I am. However, this is a custom board for a friend of mine, so I'm going to throw it on the 55-watt laser and engrave his name. I have not found a good way to film the laser yet, and I don't know, it's kind of boring, it goes back and forth, but it does add a real nice cut. So now I'm just going to finish it with butcher block oil, and I will do 3 or 4 coats over the next couple days. Oak's pretty porous, so you definitely want a good finish in case they decide to use it. This is my favorite stuff. It's available in the link below as well. It leaves a great finish, goes on really easy, and I just can't recommend it enough. I can't think of the brand off the top of my head, but I'll have it in the link below. It's just butcher block oil. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate my subscribers and my sponsors and everybody that helps me make this channel possible. Do me a favor and give me a like, and if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. We will see you next time. Thanks again.